Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AIM broadcast. I am super excited. Today, I have the lovely Miss Talisha Davis. She is joining me. She is my special guest today on the AIM broadcast. And like I said, I have shared on yesterday and today that we're going to be talking about health and wellness today. And I am so honored today, Miss Alicia Davis, to have you today. That we're going to talk about health and wellness. So, welcome to the AIM High broadcast, and thank you so much for taking time out today to be able to educate us about some health and wellness. Because as I have met you, that you're helping me on my journey of health and wellness, and it has been a pleasure of meeting you. And then I know that you have so much that you can help me with. And thank you for coming on my platform. And there are so many other women that you're going to be able to help and be able to educate us. And so, first of all, thank you so much. And I'm going to share a little bit more how we met. And I know that you're going to be able to inspire us and motivate us and many women like myself, that I know that you can help so many women on this journey of health
Yes.
and wellness. And then I want you to be able to share your story with women of your journey of health and wellness. So thank you so much for just taking time out of your busy day to be able to share your story. So welcome. So how are you doing today, Ms. Davis?
Well, first of all, thank you, Tammy, for allowing me to be able to come in and share a little bit about my experience and my health journey. And just, it's been a privilege. I know we haven't known each other long, but it's been a privilege and an honor to share this space of health and wellness with you. And that's my passion. I've had a lot to do with a lot of other areas in life, and more recently, over the last maybe 3 to 4 years, I've really been focusing on improving my health. And so many times particularly as Christians, we always pray and ask the Lord to heal this, that, and the other, and we're not doing our part. So, it takes both the prayer, but it also takes
Yes,
us
yes,
doing
yes,
our
yes.
part to establish a health, good health for ourselves.
Yes. So one of the good things that I love, and this was our wrote that I wrote down my notes. So when I look down, I'm just kind of looking at my notes. Back in August of this year, both of us had attended the All Thing Wellness of 2025, and that's how we met. And one of
Yes.
the things is I went to this event because it was talking about health and wellness. And one of the things that I personally my journey is I've been a little bit more mindful of just wanting just to get healthier, right? Make those
Mhm.
better choices. We both was vendors, and that's how we connect. And
Yes.
and so I love because they had doctors and they had a lot of vendors talking about health and wellness. And of course, I wanted to be able to meet different people on how can I become healthier. Um, just not spiritually, also what are some products out there to be able to help me on this healthy journey, right? And some kind of way we start talking, right? And so one of the things that I love that resonated with me is you are talking about your journey, health and wellness. But one of the things that I dealt with, and I work in healthcare, and I listen to a lot of doctors, and one of the things is we always talk about that gut, right?
Yes. Yes.
Gut health is something that a lot of people don't realize is that so many of us have that issue with our gut. But one of the things
Mhm.
that I love is that even on yesterday, and I'm going to put this down because I'm going to look at my a little that you sent me. One of the things
Okay.
that we don't realize that a lot of us that we deal with, and thank you for this flyer because so many people deal with this issue every day. Some of the things that we need to improve on is we deal with information, we deal with anxiety. I deal with anxiety, the brain fog. That president. I deal with the brain fog. We have blood sugar. We have blood pressure, cholesterol, acne, allergy, constipation, indigestion, fatigue, reflux, night sweats, hot flashes. Oh Jesus, joint, muscle pain, um, autoimmune diseases, food intolerance, um, low, low libido,
Low libido.
stubborn sweat, and the list can go on. People don't
Yes.
realize that all of that dealing with the gut health. So
Yes.
let's talk about that. I want you
Okay.
to elaborate on that because all of that deals with poor health, right? And we don't
Yes.
think of that.
Yes. So the majority of your health issues start in your gut, and all of those things that you just listed are
Start
things
in your
that are
gut.
impacted by your
Start in
gut
your
health.
gut.
And so, one of the things that the most important part of our gut health is our microbiome. And everybody hears that word a lot. Not a lot of people know what the microbiome actually is, but your microbiome is basically like a community of bacteria and fungus and viruses that live in our body, and they have to be in sync in order for us to have optimal health. And so, what we don't realize is that gut is connected to so many other functions in our body. It is affected, your gut health and your microbiome affects your mental health. A lot of people don't understand or realize that their mental health is actually connected to their gut. We just think it's based. Now, of course, the stress and all the other life circumstances and situations play a big part in that. But how you cope with those things, it can be, from your gut health. I personally remember, back when we flooded in 2016, in Baton Rouge, we lost almost everything we owned. And people were asking me, how was I so calm? Now I'm not gonna, make this sound like it was because my gut was correct. That was because of the Lord. But I'm just using it more so as an analogy of when we go through major life circumstances and situations, when your gut is in check, it can better help you manage those types of things. It also helps with our
Mhm,
digestion. So when that microbiome is
mhm.
correct, your digestion is better. I suffer from acid reflux, which is a part of my health journey. I have such bad acid reflux that I was taking 2 pantoprazole a day before I started working on my gut health. Now it has significantly improved um, over the years, and I want to say maybe about 4 years now. I've been taking gut health supplements to improve my gut health. And I did have a little setback earlier this year, and I'm just getting back on the bandwagon. But during that, I want to say February to the end of May, I gained 20 pounds. I had an injury that prevented me from going to the gym, and so I was not exercising. And you would have thought that would have made me eat right, but I did not. And so I was just kind of living life and paid the consequence. So the acid reflux started, flaring back up, and so I kind of had to restart with that. So I still suffer from my acid reflux, but in the peak of me doing right, it got significantly better. I'm talking, I would vomit in the middle of the night. My poor husband was just, he just had to deal with it, me coughing and hacking, all the things. It was horrible. But when you get that gut in check, then you're not having to deal with the reflux and the indigestion and the bloating, all those things that are impacted by our digestion. And so we also have the metabolic health. A lot of people don't realize that when you struggle with balancing your blood sugar, which, typically we just think that's diabetes, but that's diabetes, that's insulin resistance, that's all kinds of things that are related to our blood sugar being balanced. And some of us may not have any diabetes or insulin resistance, but you still have those sugar spikes throughout the day. All of that is maintained by gut health. And then your immune system. That's a big part of your gut
Mm,
as well. Sometimes, people, you have people in your life and you just like, they always sick. Something always wrong with them. When you get your gut right, those things tend to be, I'm not saying it'll make you go from being sick all the time to not being sick at all. But, basically my family is pretty healthy and we don't really get sick a lot. We might get a cold here and there because, germs are everywhere. And, I have kids,
right.
so they spread germs. But overall, You don't have to deal with some of those things. So that getting that gut microbiome in check will help kind of that. Oh, it's a holistic thing. It's not just about getting one area of your life in check. It gets everything in check. And
Right.
one of the benefits of that is just the weight loss. You know,
Right.
um, you know, that's just a icing on the cake, because when you get all that stuff straight, you just can't help but lose weight.
Right.
You
And
had a
that's one of the
question?
things, right. And that's one of the things that I was looking at when I talk about the microbiome is that when I was reading and studying on it, because that's one of the things that I've been doing on for my own education is for the weight loss journey. It's more than what I'm learning. It's more than just saying I'm going on a diet. I just want to
Correct.
take this pill because, like I said, I work in healthcare, and one of the things that see is everybody. One thing that I love is that with your transparency, like we talked a whole hour yesterday, right? About
Yes.
um, we talked about transparency, right?
Yes.
About we don't want this quick fix, right? Everybody wants this quick fix. I want to lose weight quick. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to exercise.
Yes.
They don't want to eat right. They don't want to make these decisions and do things that's going to be long lasting, right? Everybody
Correct.
want to do this quick fix that I want to get this shot. I want to do this. I want to lose some weight.
Yes.
But what happened after you lose the weight? What's the
Yes.
mindset? What are you going to do? And so I see, by being in healthcare, we want the Majaro, we want to do the Ozempic, we want to do these quick things to lose the weight. But I
Yes.
know I'm in healthcare and I see the I see what's going on in politics. I see the change in insurance. I see
Mhm.
insurance not paying for these injections and these medications. And so when you
Absolutely.
cannot afford these $800 prescriptions and your insurance is no longer paying for it because your A1C is not where it's supposed to be because your
Yes.
insurance said, no, you no longer qualify, that we're not paying for this because you're not really pre-diabetes, you're pre-diabetic. So now you're not
Correct.
going to get
Correct.
this medication. So now you're not going to get the Majoras, you're not going to get the Ozempic, you're not going to get this. So now you don't qualify for, so you're not going to be able to get it just to lose the weight, right?
Yes.
Then
Yes.
what's going to happen? Or if you've been getting it and now you don't lose the weight, then where your weight loss journey going to come from, right? So,
Yes.
or not just taking getting medication from off of Amazon or just getting supplements and not understanding how it's going to work with your body, right? And
Yes.
so making sure you get the right supplements for your body, understanding what works for me, what works for you might not work for me. And that's what I loved yesterday when you asked me certain questions like, what will work for you? What's your game plan?
Yes.
Um, do you see yourself? How does it work in your meal prep? And so that's what I love about what worked for you, what supplement, how would this work for you, and understanding what works for me and my body. And so that's what I love about the exercises. You say your education is to educate me on healthy living,
Hmm.
also exercise, and we're going to talk about that because even like I said, hey, I've been losing weight, I've been exercising, and the first thing you say,
Yes.
okay, well, that's good, Miss Tammy. But what you need to also realize about, let's talk about that. You mentioned about exercising, and you need to start using some weights.
Yes.
Muscle tone. A lot of people don't
Yes.
understand about the muscle tone. And I was
Yes.
like, everybody want to lose weight, but then you educated me about the muscle tone because we lose
Yes.
weight, but what about the muscle tone, right?
Yes.
People don't, everybody want to lose weight, but what about the muscle tone, right? So we're going to
Yes.
talk about that. And then along with that, you mentioned about the supplements. That's where you
Hmm.
come in to make sure that we have the right supplements. And that's
Yes.
what also that we want to educate people that are tuning in today to make sure that they have the right meal prep, the right ingredients and the supplements that help them on their weight loss journey. So we're going to talk
Yes.
about a lot today and how to get in contact with you. And if they are interested in losing weight, how to contact with you, and then you can educate them on the right journey, and then you can come up and you can give them a plan of what works for them. Each person can be different, but you
Mhm.
can give them the plan that works for them. And that's what I want to be transparent is you're not going to give them something that's not going to be feasible. And I love it. I'm excited because mama looking good. Mama looking good and feeling good, right?
That's
Um,
right.
so and even with that, and I want to give a shout out because I want to give a shout out to, like I said, even my director, Miss Jericho, is that I'm a part of this group that called the Weight Loss Baddies, and it's a group of ladies where we motivate each other. Um, and encouraging each other to lose weight. And that's where you come in as well, because she
Mhm.
allowed me to post this group, this little interview in a group today, right?
Oh,
And they got some
awesome.
of them, yes, she did. So, hey, Jerica,
Hi, welcome.
some of them ladies are tuning in today, listening to
Awesome.
this. So, Jerica, thank you so much. It's called the Weight Loss Baddies, and it's a group of ladies that she formed. It's a private VIP group, and it's because these ladies, we're all on a weight loss journey, and we motivate
Mhm.
each other to stay in healthy eating, exercising, um, and that's what we need. And so these ladies also might want to reach out to you on supplements,
Yes.
dieting, and tip. And so we'll be able to provide your name, how to get in contact with you. If they interested,
Yes.
you can provide them some information as well. Okay.
Yes.
And so, I just wanted just to give you a shout out and let them know that they are watching you and you're the one that can help them. Okay. So
Yes.
thank you, Jerica. Amen. So
Yes. Thank
anyways,
you.
go ahead and tell them a little bit more about your journey on your weight loss and what do you offer them. And then we're going to talk about the muscle tone and etc. So now this is your platform.
Okay. First of all, I am a wife and a mom. My husband and I have been married for 28 years, and we have three children. I have a 12-year-old and a 19 and a 20-year-old. And one of the things that I would like to commend the group, I'm sorry, the name has already slipped my mind, but that's really a great place to start is having a team of people that you can have to be accountable with and have a group of friends all trying to do their health journey together. That accountability is really helpful. So my health journey basically started with a friend of mine who I'd ran into at church, and I hadn't seen her in several years, and she was looking really thin. And I asked her, I was like, "Girl, you looking good? What you doing?" And she actually told me about the gut health supplements that she was taking, and she had a whole bunch of food intolerances. She was soy free, dairy free, gluten free, all kind of free. She could barely eat anything. And then she also had some autoimmune issues and things like that. And she looked fabulous. We talked about the inflammation. She had a lot of inflammation in her body. She lost like I don't want to say she said she lost like 6 pounds, but she dropped like several clothes sizes because she had that much inflammation in the body. And so I was like, well, look, let me just try this thing. So I did the gut supplements for a couple of years, and I really didn't change a whole lot of my lifestyle. I did a little moderation. I exercised off and on when my kid was in track practice and things like that. But I didn't really like go like, okay, I'm sick and tired of all the things I'm dealing with. Let me really get it together. And during that time, I saw moderate changes. I dealt my main reason for doing it. I wanted to lose weight, but I also struggled with constipation, and I did not realize that I was constipated. A lot of people don't want to talk about constipation. That's like who wants to talk about poop, right? But that's a part of gut health. And so I was like, no, girl, I'm not constipated. I go every day. But you're supposed to have nice soft logs, and you're supposed to go every day. And so basically, when something comes in, something's supposed to be coming out. And a lot of people that as I go around and talking to people about gut health, they're telling me, oh, girl, I go once a week or I go every couple of weeks. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, that has to be like a horrible feeling. That is not normal for you to go that seldom. And so I had little pellets. you're supposed to have nice soft logs. And so she was like, yeah, baby, you're constipated. And I did not even know that. So that's one of the things I feel like a lot of people miss it is that they think that their bowel movements are normal and they're not. So I was able to get that straight with my gut health supplements. And so one of the things that I was also struggling with was the bloating and inflammation. I had no idea that I was inflamed as much as I was. And I believe I showed you, Tammy, a picture of me
Mm-hmm.
from 2 years ago, and then a picture of me. And it was like I'd only gained lost 20 pounds, but I looked like I lost about 30 or 40 pounds because I had that much inflammation in my body. I just thought I was fat. But I didn't realize that I had that much inflammation. So a lot of people, if you have a really puffy face and and everybody's like, oh, just you when you gain weight, you have a little roundness about your face. But it was inflammation in my body, and that impacts your joints and all kinds of things. All the reasons why we say we can't exercise. So the bloating, all of that stuff, plus my acid reflux. So those were the things that really were important to me. And then 2 years ago, I went to the doctor. Of course, my husband was telling me I was snoring and that I wasn't breathing at night. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not breathing? But he's like looking at me like, is she going to breathe? I had sleep apnea. And so the doctor told me I was like borderline, needing to have a CPAP. And I barely slept with the thing on to take the test. So I was like, okay, what I have to do? He was like, lose 40 pounds and then I'll retest you. I was like, that's it, I'm good. So that's when I really got serious. And that was about 2 years ago. And so at that point, I was like, okay, God, it's time for me to change. I did have a little motivation because I was getting ready for my 30th class reunion. So that was a little motivation for me too. But
Mm-hmm.
I did decide to get it in check. And I mean, everything. I wanted to make sure that I not only got my eating right, but exercising. And so at that point, because I typically would only exercise when my daughter had track practice. And so I was like, if I'm out there sweating with the kids, I might as well go ahead and exercise. But I was an athlete when I was in school. I ran track. I wasn't that great, but I was on the team. But I did decide I wanted to get myself together. So I now decided that exercising is now part of my lifestyle. And I had a friend of mine that was joking with me. He was like, girl, you've been, exercising for a while now, because, I post about it sometimes on social media. And he didn't think I was serious. He was like, I thought you was just going to stop exercising like you always. I was like, no, I'm serious. This is a lifestyle for me. And so that's what we've got to condition ourselves, not look for a way to not exercise, but try to figure out, okay, what can I do? And then as we get over 40, we do lose that muscle mass and we want to go. I love my classes. I was doing my Zumba class. I was doing my step class. I was doing, the little circuit classes and all these things. And I still love those classes. But at the end of the day, I had to get in there and lift weights. You don't get bulky by lifting weights, but we lose muscle mass, particularly as we get older. And one of the things that I also didn't even realize was going to be an up and coming issue was perimenopause and menopause. As we get older, that's just an inevitable part of growing old. We just assume we have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with the hot flashes and the hormones
Right.
going up and down, the mood swings. We just assume that's just our part of life, as women. But when I hang out with my classmates and they're all having hot flashes and fanning and doing all the things, I am calm and I am not sweating. I have not had,
Uh-oh.
I'll be 50 next year and I have not had a hot flash. I do sweat a lot, but I have never had a hot flash. But that's not, hormone related. I I cannot tell you how many people that take prescriptions and do all these things trying to deal with things that we just think prescriptions are the only way to fix. But the good thing about it
Right,
is
right.
there is help. And if we get our gut straight, you don't have to deal with those things. It's not just a part of life that you have to accept, but you have to be in balance. So I hope you noticed that I said I did have moderate results when I was just taking my gut health supplements. But when I decided to change my eating habits, when I decided to start exercising and use the gut health supplements, that was like the trifecta that just kind of set me over because we live in South Louisiana. And what do
Hold
we
on,
like to do in South
hold on.
Louisiana?
Let, let,
We love
let me
to
let me inject. So let me
Go ahead.
interject something. This is one of the things that I love that you said is that um, by me working in at a clinic is because things is that when you have a primary care provider, one of the things
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to do is they're going to prescribe you medication,
Yes.
prescribe you prescription. That's what they're going to do. Is
Mm-hmm.
any element that you have is to give you a prescription. That's what they're going to give you a
Yes.
prescription, right?
Yes.
So anytime you have an element of prescription, and so we know prescription is going to be temporary, is to treat that symptom. And I love what you said is that whatever's going on is temporary, but a lot of thing is that whatever's going on in your gut is that if we can treat what's going on in his gut, it can help.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I research that I have been researching even for myself. If I can get with that microbiome, if I can get rid of some of that bacteria, those viruses, those fungus, those things that's living in my gut, because
Mm-hmm.
when you have poor gut health, it impacts most majority of our overall health in
Yes.
so many
Correct.
ways.
Now,
So if I can get, go ahead.
I do want to interrupt you just for a second. You don't want to get rid of all of that stuff because it
Right,
has to
right.
be a balance, which
It
is,
has to be a balance, right?
yes. So you do need bacteria and
You do
stuff in
need
your
it,
body. Yes, because you
right?
need it
Because
to
it's
flush
right.
out the bad stuff.
You have to flush it out. Like you said, everything has to have a balance. But I was just saying that you have to have a balance. So I'm glad that you said that. But it like some of the things is that we have to have a balance. What we can get rid of is that because I was talking about like even in when I talk about we have to have moderations. Like one of the things that when we was at the RV Wellness is that I had got into a place that I went to straight eating a lot of vegetables, right? I was eating nothing but food. I was just constantly eating nothing but watermelon, watermelon. I thought that was good until one of the doctors got up there and was like, eating too much of watermelon was not good for me. And I was
Correct.
like, I'm thinking watermelon is good. It was like too much of anything is that I had to learn in moderation. I was eating
Yes.
a lot of fiber. And I kept on realizing why I kept having all this acid reflux. And it was like too much of fiber was too much. And then I'm like, she was like, no, you're eating too much of fiber because I kept belching and passing. She was like, that was too much. So then she was like,
Yes.
learn how to do stuff in moderation. So even though it
Yes.
was like, oh, oats are good for you, but I was eating too much. And so then
Yes.
I was like, okay, I need to rethink of how I'm doing certain things. So that put me more on the educational side is learn the moderation of how you eat and stuff. And even when it comes down to certain supplements and vitamins, then I came back to my area, and then that's when I met you about the gut health. So then I
Mm-hmm.
got your brochure and I started reading. I'm like, okay, I need to focus on what's going on in my gut health and make it
Yes.
balanced. So then that's when I felt like the Lord had me because I had other brochures that I was going to, but then I felt that the Lord said, hey, this is who you need to help you on your weight loss journey because this was more in line into where I was going and get the supplements and stuff that I need. So I just wanted just to bring that back to it because I believe that was more in line in what we need to do with that when it came down to like you said with the inflammation, the bloating, the snoring, the constipation, loss of talk about loss of muscle mass, the hot flashes as we get older, certain things
Yes.
that we need to do that I think that would help.
Yes. So one of the other things that you mentioned about was with the gut, we're working on your gut and the balance. A lot of times we do get focused on losing the weight, but we live in Louisiana and we have good food here. And so
We have
ideally,
good
any
food.
nutritionist, any doctor would tell you they will want you to get all your vegetables and fruits and protein, all the things, and get it from your food. But the reality is, most people, including myself, are not willing to do what it takes to do right 100% of the time. And I know that I can do right. My
Mhm.
goal in life is to do right, and this is what works for Talisha. If I can do right 80% of the time, then I can have those indulgence and do the
Mm-hmm.
things. It's like I know that with acid reflux, red sauces are not good for me. But guess what? Talisha loves salsa. Talisha loves lasagna and spaghetti and
Mm-hmm.
pastas, all the things. So guess what Talisha has to do? Not eat those things on a regular basis. I'm not ready to give those things up for life. But there are people
Right.
who I literally have talked to a person one time, and she told me, she was like, she's the only person in her family that is not a diabetic, and she did what it took to stay off of diabetes, be off of diabetes medication, and she has perfectly normal blood sugar. And she said if something's not healthy for her, she just doesn't eat it. And I was like, oh my goodness, the willpower that she has to be able to do that is phenomenal. And so that's why some people, I tell them all the time, if you know that you're going to still have some times where you're going to splurge and do those things because you're human, then it would be great to have supplementation in addition to eating healthy and exercising, because it all works together. Now, one of the things, do you want me to talk about the supplements now? Or are you, because I want to
Yes,
make,
I want you to talk about a sub. Yeah, we're going to talk about your supplement, but I do have someone did have a question. They said,
okay,
"How
sure.
do you keep a balance along with being a diabetic patient?"
Okay, so you have several options as a diabetic. Now, I kind of want to talk about my gut health supplements now because I have some perfect things for you when
Okay,
we
so
get
we're
to
going to
that.
do that. Just answer that question, and then we're going to talk about your supplements.
Okay, but as far as a diabetic, so a lot of times the doctors tend to tell us that, that the prescriptions are what we need. They literally, and I'm not saying everybody's doctor is like this. I have a really good doctor who actually told me, he likes to help me heal things basically by food and by my diet and exercise and those things first. Prescriptions are needed, and I never, ever, 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 ever tell anybody to stop prescriptions without their doctor's consent. One of the things you have to realize, though, is most medications out there are only camouflaging symptoms. That's it. They're not
Okay, say
helping
that
you.
again because your phone. Say, I'm sorry. Say that again because you was breaking up.
I was
Yeah,
breaking up.
it's like
Okay,
your Wi-Fi broke up. Say that again.
most medications are not healing you. Your prescriptions are camouflaging symptoms. And so the issue with that is we go and we tell the doctor we have this ache, this pain, and then they diagnose you with something, and then they just give you medicine to camouflage the symptoms, but you still have the issue. The root has not been dealt with. And so as a diabetic, if you get your gut health in check, you're going to lose the weight. You're also going to have a complete reversal or an improvement, significant improvement in your diabetes. I've had lots and lots of customers who, with gut supplements, they're not FDA approved. So I know some people have this big hiccup in their mind about something not being FDA approved. But if you really take a look at what the FDA has approved, and you realize that a lot of the stuff that they've approved is horrible for us and is killing us and is keeping us on these medicines. The FDA approval is not the most important thing to me. The most important thing to me is improving my health and actually seeing a change in my diagnoses. My dad, in particular, I've been taking supplements for years, but I finally got him to take it. Start taking the supplements about 4 months ago, and about 2 months in, his doctor took him off his high blood pressure medication. Now that's not going to be,
Amen.
on my website and say that this is going to help you get off your blood pressure medication, because you can't say that legally about supplements. But what I am saying is that you can, if you get your gut in check, particularly with diabetes, you can significantly improve your A1C or and your glucose, or you can actually decrease it to the point where you're no longer diabetic. And some of those things take time. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm gonna try your supplements for 30 days and see how it goes. You know what? You did not get your gut like it is in the condition that it is in 30 days. So guess what? For most people,
That's
it's not
right.
going to
That's
be.
right.
That's no different than when we have babies. We have these babies and it takes 9 months for them to grow. And then the baby 3 months old, we mad because we can't get the baby weight off. Well, guess what? It took 9 months to get the weight on. It's not going to come off in a couple months. For most
Right.
people, you do have those super pop back people. So I'm
Right.
saying that to say, that, those things can really truly be impacted when you get your gut health. All of those even cancers. One of the things I learned last October during breast cancer month, we did a breast cancer walk, and I had a table set up, and I didn't realize that if you get the right gut health supplements, even when you deal with cancers and things like that, it can help you while you're going through chemo. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. It can help you with all of those types of things. So one of the things, I'll go ahead and let you say something because I know you wanted to say while my phone is ringing. Did you have another question, Miss Tammy,
No, 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 no. Go ahead into your let's talk about your
about the
supplements. We got
supplements?
like 15 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So one of the things, I'm sorry, my voicemail and everything is picking up at the moment. Pardon that. But so one of the company that I'm affiliated with is called Plexus. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with it. The company's been around since 2008, and it actually started with breast cancer kits. Is how the company actually got started, and then they kind of segued into some weight loss items. But the guy that created the our signature drink, which is called Slim, it actually was created by an endocrinologist, and so that's why I was like, this is the perfect, perfect supplements for someone who is trying to get their glucose, their sugar balance. And so I'll just show you. So this is our one of our signature products. It's called Slim, and it has these little packets in it. And I take a water bottle and I pour it in there and I shake it up. You can do a nice little cute one if you like your little tumblers. I like to be able to dispose of it quickly and eat it and drink it on the run. But that actually helps balance your blood sugar. And we have it in 3 flavors. And the flavors that it come in is the black cherry lime, which is what you just saw, my favorite. It comes in a hunger control option and in a regular microbiome. The only difference in the two is that the hunger control helps make you feel satiated and full, and it helps with those cravings and from snacking and things like that. And it's a positive promoter of your GLP-1, which is what people go for in the skinny shots. So I understand that people need those shots, when they have true medical need for them. And so I'm not knocking the shots at all. But for those of us that are really just using it to lose weight quickly, this will be a more, a better alternative for you. You won't lose the weight as quickly. I can give you some things to help you lose it quicker, but you want to make sure that you keep it off. And so people are also having side effects from that, from the shots that they were not expecting. One of them is constipation, because what you're doing is you're slowing down your natural digestion so you can remain full longer. And so the Bio Cleanse is 2 capsules that I take every night, depending on how constipated you are. If you deal with IBS or chronic constipation, you may need to take more than the 2 that I take at night. And it's not a laxative. It's not going to have you cramping and feeling like you got to rush to the bathroom. It just gently moves your bowels. And I take them at night. In the morning, I go normally. And it's the way it's supposed to be. And then the third thing that I take, and this is called our triplex combo, is the ProBio 5. And the ProBio 5, I take this and I take my Bio Cleanse at night, 2 of each. This is the best probiotic that I have ever taken, and I have taken a plenty. Ours is the only one that actually kills Candida yeast. And I think we're amongst all women. This might be a little touchy subject, but I used to have chronic yeast infections. I do sweat a lot. I have what's called hyperhidrosis. I have overactive sweat glands. And so I sweat a lot, a little more than most normal people. And so I would struggle with chronic yeast infections. And since I have been taking this ProBio 5, which actually kills Candida yeast, I have not had a yeast infection. And that was a life changer for me. People say, oh, why would they take a probiotic? The way you can tell if your probiotic is good is if you stop taking it and you can't feel the difference, it's probably not good. I know people, oh, I have this for this is really good. I just challenge you. I'll be happy to send anybody our ingredients list. It's really, really great. So again, those 3 things are our triplex combo, and those help just about everybody, because it's kind of our base, and we kind of, map out other things, but we have so many other options for products that help with your gut. So basically, the Slim is considered a prebiotic. It's basically preparing your body for the probiotics. The probiotics basically you put in all the good bacteria, because that's why whenever you take antibiotics, if your doctor puts you on antibiotics, you need a good probiotic to put those good things back in, because the antibiotic just killing and taking everything out. So you need a good
It's just calling
probiotic
right.
to put all the good things in. So you got the prebiotic that's going to prepare your gut, and then the probiotic is putting all the good stuff in, and then the BioClean brushes it all out, that's the bad stuff. So the three together is just an awesome combo. That's like one of the ones that I kind of recommend just about everybody. And then the Slim, like I said, that comes in a black cherry lime flavor. It also comes in a sweet tea flavor, and it also comes in a
Which are good.
watermelon raspberry lemon flavor.
Very good.
Yes. So, and like I said, both comes in a hunger control and a regular microbiome. And just to kind of throw in a couple of other things that this is from my personal stash. um, Better Burn. And this is one that I actually recommended for you, Tammy. I'm not a coffee
Yes.
drinker, but this here it helps with brain fog. So for those of my people in perimenopause, menopause with the brain fog, this will help you. It gives you a little boost of energy. But none of our stuff. Oh, I forgot to tell you, all of our stuff is natural. Everything is
Natural.
sweetened with stevia extract, so you have no artificial flavors, no artificial coloring. Really, really clean line of products. All of it is third party tested. We have a 60-day money back guarantee, so you can take the whole box and you can say, I do not like this, and you can return it, and get your money back. Although I've never had that happen, the offer is there for those that are skeptical. This helps burn belly fat as well. So this is like, one of the things that I take
That
first thing in the
belly
morning.
fat.
That belly fat, and it's stubborn when we get over 40, and so it really really helps there. Now, for those of you that typically drink a lot of coffee, or you like energy drinks, we do have what's called Active, and Active is a healthy version of an energy drink. We have Hydrate, which is like a natural Gatorade, and then these are two other specialty products that we have. One is called Nerve, and one is called Ease. Ease actually helps with muscle cramps. It helps people who have arthritis, muscle and joint pain. It's really, really good has turmeric in it. It really, really helps with joint pain. And one of the things my friend told me about that I didn't know, one of my daughters has really, really bad cramps, and she was cramping really bad. She was like, "Go give her an Ease," and I gave it to her, and it really helps. So, any kind of pains dealing like that, Ease is great. Now, Nerve is great. A guy at our church, matter of fact, I talked to him on my when I left church today, and he was ordering some more Nerve. He was taking the Nerve for about a month and a half, and I was like, "So, have you noticed any changes?" And he was like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, "Okay." I was a little disappointed, and I was like, "You hadn't noticed any change with your neuropathy?" He had neuropathy in his hands, and he kind of paused and he looked up at the
Okay, hold
ceiling, and
on. He was taking nerves for
he was
he
taking
was taking
my
nerves for
nerve,
what?
neuropathy. He's a diabetic, and so he had neuropathy in his hands. And so after about a month and a half,
Okay.
he had no neuropathy in his hands. And so, everybody doesn't work that way, but what I am telling you is possible is everybody's body is different. Just like there are people who've taken our products and in 2 months they have no acid reflux. I still struggle with it. Mine was more severe. So, I'm saying these things to say these are testimonials of people, but for you, it might take a little longer than a month and a half if you struggle with neuropathy or anything like that. So there are people out there who these supplements have really changed their lives. Maybe you want to exercise and you're like, but my knees hurt, my shoulder hurt. I got all these things that prevent you from exercising. But if you get your gut in check, guess what?
Hmm.
If you take your Ease and it helps with your knee pain, then you can go out there and you can walk and you can do the squats and you can do the treadmill and take the classes and all the things and lift the weights. So it's about a holistic approach. Like I said, The great thing about our products is you don't have to take the same thing all the time. Again, I tell people they can try them for 30 days, but it takes longer than 30 days for most people to get complete relief in some areas. Some things I noticed quickly. It did take me but about a week on the bio cleanse. I don't even know if it took a whole week to be able to see a change in my bowels and be able to be like, okay, this is really working. For my acid reflux, it took months for me to be able to really see, but that's how bad my acid reflux was. And then, like I said, to lose weight, we also have meal replacement shakes in a vegan form for people who are vegan, and then we have the whey for people who don't mind the whey, and it actually helps. Really, a lot of 21 grams of protein in it. You can add milk or water or whatever type of dairy supplement you take, dairy you take, almond milk, whatever you like. And it's really, really great. Chocolate and vanilla, the flavors that it comes in all the time. But we do have seasonal products that come, flavors that pop in, like a pumpkin spice usually comes out around the fall. We had a white chocolate peppermint bark that came out last Christmas time. So the products are really, really great. I would love to be able to personalize a plan for people if they're really interested in using gut health supplements in conjunction with eating right and exercising. Like I said, for some things you will see a change if you just got on the supplements, and it'll be worth it still. But to really maximize it, the trifecta of doing all three at the same time, it could really kind of set you on that trajectory to be like, I really feel a difference and I'm loving the way I feel. Because we always talk about how we want to grow old gracefully, but like Steve Harvey says, old is the goal. And I saw a meme on social media, and it's really become my little mantra. It's like, at 50, I'm not really all that interested in getting into a two-piece. That's not my reason for working out and exercising and eating right. My goal is when I'm 80 years old to be able to get off the toilet unassisted. I don't want to need any help. So in order to do that, we can't wait till we get old. We have to do that now. We have to start moving and eating right and doing all these things so that as we get older, we can still be independent. It's nothing worse than when I look at people my age and I'm like, do I look that bad? Do I feel like they're moving kind of slow? We don't want to have to live our life like that. We want to grow old gracefully, and that's what my supplements are
Great.
helping you to do. So, you have any
Amen.
questions?
Amen. I don't. Only thing I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited that we met. I'm excited about the supplement. I'm excited about the plan that you have for me. Um, only thing I can say is if you want results, and like you say, if you want to age gracefully, and like I said, you want to be able to age gracefully and be independent. You want to make
Yes,
sure that if you want to be able to have a successful life, is you did not. It's going to take time, right?
yes,
Um, you know, you want better health. You got the plan for. You got to want it, and
that's
so
right.
you just have to contact you. You contact you,
Yes,
come up with a plan. I did put in a comment your name, your number. So it is in the comment, and
yes,
wanna get your gut
and
together. Like I said, you can come up with educate you to get healthy eating, exercise, benefits, supplement plan. That's what you're gonna do. And
yes,
whatever your issues is about getting health exercise questions, you are here to educate them on. Everybody has a different story,
absolutely.
health issues. You are the person that can help them and to direct them. And so
Yes,
it's just a phone call away, right?
yes.
And
And I
so
will. Can I
that's why
also
I wanted
interject
to
one
do
thing?
this health and wellness.
I would
Yes,
also like to say, if you like community and you are on Facebook, we do have a group, a new group that we started right actually around the time that we did the health and wellness event a couple of weeks ago, and it's going to be a gut health community. I am Talisha Thomas Davis on Facebook, and if you friend me, send me a message
yes,
and let me know that you want to be added to
yes.
the gut health community group. We talk about our supplements in there, but we also do recipes. We do challenges together. And all of, we
Mm,
just talk about gut health. And it's great to have a community. We want it really interactive where people can ask questions. And it's great to just have a group of people with the same goals because you can ask questions and, we just want to be there for each other, to support each other as we get healthy. Because guess what? We only have one life and we have to live it
one
to
life.
its fullest and take care of it.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen. And be
So
fabulous.
I'm
Be
Talisha Thomas
fabulous.
Davis
Amen.
on Facebook. I'm Talisha Davis 5, the number 5 on Instagram. And then my email for those that would like to contact me by email, it's understandingguthealth at gmail.com. Understandingguthealth at gmail.com. And I'm also open, if you guys have health fairs, events, or if you just want to get a group of ladies at your house that want to get together and discuss it. I tell people it's great to get a group of ladies and try these products together because you can all kind of support each other, and then it's also a business opportunity. If people are interested in making a little extra money, you do get paid for referring people to
Amen.
me. So if that's something you're looking for, sometimes people are like, oh, it's a little, pricey to buy the products. And so they refer people and get their products. I mean, you can make $37 for referring one person, and then you get that back from your products. So it's really an
Amen.
opportunity
Amen.
to just make sure that you have no reason to not be able to take better care of your health.
Amen. Take better care of your health. Like you say, you have one life and don't wait. Because when I tell you, I do health care and I see it every day. I see those that take care of their health, they're proactive. I see those that have not taken care of health. And I see every day that people wait till they are sick. And when I have the schedule appointment, you have not been
Yes,
seen a whole year, and now you're almost dying and sick. And I be in my mind,
yes,
you waited a whole
yes,
year, have not been to the doctor, and then you are so sick to, or you barely
yes,
can walk. It's like, why? And some of them is
yes,
20, 30, 40, 60, 80, and some people don't have nobody. And it's like, I just
yes,
don't get it. It's like, and then you're angry and mad, and it's like you get
yes,
sick, and it's like, and it's at the point it's too late because your illness have gotten away from you, you
yes.
know.
I'm
And
a
only
big
thing you do,
advocate of good
and
year.
your medication list is like this, and it's like
Yes,
the medications. Only thing you do right now, and you're angry because your medication list like this, and the medications only trying to just keep you alive, but now it's like this here, and you need this to keep you alive, right? So anyway,
absolutely.
but take care of your health. But besides that, let's take care of our health. Take care of your gut. Get on exercise so you can get healthy to be able to walk, to talk, to be able to think, get rid of the indigestion, and get rid of the bloating, the anxiety, the stress, the muscle, the pains, the aches, the high pressures, the sweat, the list go on and on and on. But
Yes,
this to take better care of your health. Reach out to Talicia's David. Get connected with her on Instagram, on Facebook. I put down the email address. Get the referrals. If you want to get action, if you need the $40, $37, do a referral. You want to get into business contact. If you want to, take care of your health like I am, contact her. Um, you have questions, contact her on Instagram, Facebook. Thank you so much, my friend.
thank you.
We are connected. And like I said, I am so excited, and y'all gonna be seeing me.
Young,
Y'all gonna be
young
seeing me
get it,
looking
girl.
good. Y'all gonna be seeing me looking good. I'm excited. I'm excited about what God is doing in my life, and
Yes,
you're going to be seeing and hearing more about you. And we're going to be doing this more as well, talking
yes,
more about, as I'm experiencing more, and I'm going to come back as for talking a little bit more about what the products is doing for me, because I want to come back as and do a follow up as for what the supplements are doing for me and how do I feel,
yes,
because I want to be come back and give a testimony in the
absolutely.
next next 30 days and 60 days about what the supplements have done for me. Okay.
Absolutely. I
I
can't
thank you,
wait.
my friend. Have a blessed remaining of your Sunday. Okay. Thank you, my friend. Bye,
Thanks.
girl.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye bye.
I don't know how you cut it off. There we go.